to Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever you're watching this, hope you're doing well and staying safe. Carpooling with Ben. And today we are talking with our good friends at the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. Hugh Minor is joining me here today from the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. Sir, it's good to see you. Socially distanced, of course.
Of course, yeah. We don't get to ride in the car this time, but that's okay.
I know. And of course, the last time we took a ride, I think I unintentionally took like a wrong turn somewhere, and we ended up on perhaps one of the roads that needs the most attention from the TOT. I mean, we needed a hovercraft. It was pretty bumpy, but from what I understand, hopefully that'll be getting fixed at some point in the near future. But you look good. How's everybody doing with your side?
Good. We're doing well. You know, we have been moving full speed ahead since March, working to get food out to the community. We've had a tremendous response from our donors who have been outstanding. So, it's just, I think the biggest thing for us is just a lot of uncertainty about, how long this is going to continue.
Something we've talked about in the past is the fact that not only do you help folks, obviously, and you actually support a lot of smaller pantries. It's kind of like the spoke and hub or whatever that terminology is, but that's kind of you work with a lot of different organizations throughout the state. But another thing that you do is you've also you've had this culinary school for some time. What's the status of that right now, and how is that working?
Yeah, so really that's our community kitchen program, which we've run for 22 years, and it's on hold right now because we're limiting people in the building, coming into the building, but also the whole point of the program is to train people to work in the restaurant and culinary industry. And as we all know, that industry has just been the hardest hit out of any, so we thought, let's put it on hold. The chefs in the program are working to produce food for our kids' cafe after school programs, which are still going on. But that piece of our work is on hold right now, which is really unfortunate because it really helped people get on their feet, and get back into the workplace.
I think that's something for people to keep in mind, when you do make a donation or support. And let's be honest, I mean, you're not ashamed to ask for it. We're looking for support for the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. But I think that's something it's so much more beyond a canned good or a non-perishable item or even a monetary donation. There's these educational opportunities, and I have all the faith in the world that as they say, we're starting to see the glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel as we start to get closer and closer to that and get beyond that. Hopefully that chef program, that community kitchen program will open back up. The success rate out of that, for those who don't know, though, the job placement success rate out of that, it's astronomically high.
Yeah, it's super. It was in the 88% or so the last time we checked, and it's these people they were getting jobs at really great restaurants. To drop names, Capital Grill would hire folks, so and we would try to match people with what they were really interested in. Some people wanted to do baking, some people wanted to work with seafood. So we hope we can bring that back because it really did make a difference in people's lives.
Well, it's an amazing program, and I always loved hearing those stories coming out of it. There's also been other things that may not have happened as much as they usually did throughout the year. Obviously, one of the big ones, scouting for food. That one took a hit.
Yeah. Honestly, our whole focus has just shifted to getting food out the door. We are distributing about 30% more food than we did at this time last year because the need is so great in the community. And for safety reasons, we've put off a lot of the annual traditional events. If you remember the letter carriers drive in May, the Scouting for Food drive that just would have happened. We're putting those things off to limit personal contact as much as possible, and really asking people if instead of donating food, they can donate funds so that we can purchase the food that we need to distribute. It's a little shift in the thinking, because I know particularly for young people, they love the experience of collecting food and donating it and coming to see the food bank, but we have to put all of that on hold right now.
Well, you work with some amazing partners. Obviously, Ocean State Job Lot's been one of them for many years. You can take $1 and go to your local grocery store and buy something, and that's wonderful. It's great to support them. Right. But you and your teams and partnering up with organizations like Ocean State Job Lot, you can take $1 and do a lot more because of buying power.
Yeah, we're buying wholesale just like many of the stores do. And even that is challenging. We can get more for our money, but there are shortages out there. When we look at some of the most essential items that we need, there are times when we try to order things and we can't get them. And, we're not always at the top of the list, compared to, a big supermarket chain or other things. There's also been delays in delivery. So we're constantly trying to order food, keep it in stock to make sure that we have what we need, because we're distributing to 160 agencies throughout the state, and they want to make sure they have what their neighbors need on their shelves.
Hugh, Thanksgiving is officially in the rearview mirror right now. Thanksgiving 2020. I hope you're feeling good after all that deliciousness. But we focus now towards the Christmas holiday and the end of the year, and people's mindset may have shifted, and they would typically be going to Trinity Reps A Christmas Carol.
Yep.
Now, obviously, that's gone virtual this year, but at the end of every performance, Scrooge comes out in a true act of generosity and they've raised millions for you folks over the years. So now with that going virtual, how is that program working this year?
So great question. They would raise about $60,000 every year, and that's literally just from people as they leave the show putting in some spare change, maybe a $10 bill. It wasn't like people were donating thousands at a time, but all of that added up from every show. So we talked with Trinity, what are we going to do this year that's going virtual? And they reached out to the Rhode Island Foundation. So this year, Trinity's Christmas Carol, which will start airing on December 17th, it's free for people to watch, but if they make a donation to Trinity, the Rhode Island Foundation will match that donation up to $60,000 with a gift to the food bank. So it's a win-win for both organizations. You can imagine Trinity is struggling. They don't have live theater right now. They're putting on this free show for the community. But if people give to support them, then they can also give to the food bank as well. It's really a wonderful idea.
That is outstanding. Glad to hear that, and kudos to all three organizations, yourself, Trinity, and the Rhode Island Foundation for coming together and making that work. That's a huge thing. I know that is such a key component, and it's not just the fact of you take out a couple bucks as you mentioned as you walk out, but it was a captive audience, a really community minded and oriented off audience who feel great after a performance, and afterwards they get reminded of the great work. Right. One nonprofit reminding people of another great nonprofit in our area, and so that was always good to have that extra bit of a boost there. So
yeah, really, financially it made such a difference, but it's such a great local tradition. I mean, I can remember I've gone to see A Christmas Carol every couple of years since I was a kid, And so, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it on TV this year or watching it virtually, but we will still miss that in-person experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, it's give them a lot of credit. Everybody's had to be creative and everybody's had to do something different to garner support. Going forward, I mean, I've heard figures from different organizations and, people saying, okay, if we get out of this, if we were to get out of this today, it would take us X amount of time to get back to where we should have been or to match what we did last year. As far as that kind of information, I'm sure that's useful for the food bank because that's going to tell you how long you're going to need to keep this drive, this overdrive happening of keeping people food secure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the big question for us right now. It's this uncertainty, even if everything improved in the next week, there are people who have been unemployed for months and, there's going to be a lag time before things get back to normal, as we would call them, where people are fully employed again, where they're able to support themselves. We're heading into the winter months, which are normally a busier time for us anyway. So, just last year, we served about 53,000 people every month through our network. Right now, we estimate we're serving about 68,000.
Wow.
That's about 15,000 more people. And that's as of today. March, as we head into the winter through March, we tend to serve more people just because there are a lot of people who are in industries that don't work during the winter time, and they come out for food assistance. So we really, we're anticipating at least through next summer, we'll be distributing and working at this level.
Well, hopefully by next summer, we'll be able to get some great events online, and whether they be a smaller scale or just kind of ramping up back to some of the stuff that you've done in the past. Hopefully we can get that back online and start raising more funds. But in the meantime, folks, help us out. Share this episode. Go online. Go check out the great stuff, whether it be on social media or just their website. Hugh, you folks are very savvy over there. You've got a program where you could just sign up once and make a recurring donation every month. Am I right?
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. We have our Sustainers Harvest program. It's great. It's easy. You sign up and you can give a monthly donation of any amount from $10 to, people give larger amounts, whatever they can. And it's really nice for us to know that we have that steady income coming in, rather than sort of waiting to the end of the year for that gift.
It's like the Ronco device. You set it and forget it, and you're good to go. It's wonderful, and you're putting great nutritional value in front of folks that could really use it, especially this time of year, and just with everything we're dealing with. So, Hugh, I wish you all the safety and the health as we go through, and I promise we'll get back in the car. Maybe we'll have to do the Jeep if that road hasn't been repaved by that point. But, we'll have to do something, maybe get an off-road vehicle. But I still like the hovercraft idea. I think we could be on to something.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
All right, awesome. Hugh Minor of the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, thank you so much for joining me. Folks, go online, share the episode, and support the Rhode Island Community Food Bank.